Hey everybody, what is up? Serial Overdrive here, and today I'm playing Entropia Universe. What I want to do today is make the 2016 edition of the Beginner's Guide to Crafting. So let's get into this. First off, few warnings, right? Crafting is the most expensive profession in Entropia Universe. You're going to get into this and you're going to probably end up spending 5,000 PEDs before you can actually make a profit. Maybe even 10,000 PEDs. Or no, Yeah, you're going to need to spend that much before you even have a shot at making a profit, right? Hunting, you've almost always got a shot at making a profit. Mining, you've almost always got a shot at making a profit. Crafting, when you start off, you're not making anything. And as you get better and better and better, you've got a higher and higher chance of making a profit until you get over 100%. And then you're the dude that now owns Club Never Die. So, you've got to start somewhere. This is a beginner's guide. Flush all that out of those tales of riches I told you. Get those out of your head, right? No, you're spending money now. This is where you put in the money, okay? And you're going to put in a lot of money here. So, how's that going to work? First off, get a hold of the fact you're going to need to spend at least 5,000 PEDs before you're making money, or not making money, before you're feeling more like the hunters and the crafters do, where it's like, or the hunters and the miners do, where it's like, oh, I could make a profit off this. Crafting, you're going to go into it knowing you're going to lose. Every time. I always lose. Alright. I'm the opposite of Donald Trump. Sorry, I had to do it. Now, so you know you're going to lose. Now, second of all, I'm not good at crafting. I don't know all the tips and tricks, so check the comments, because there's people that are a lot better at this than me that are going to comment and tell me where I was wrong. You want to trust them, not me. Remember that. No one's in Entropia Universe to fuck each other over, so don't worry about competition, right? As a beginner, first thing you need to do, go to the technician, okay? Go to Blueprint Books, buy the 2 books that you're going to need. These 2 books would be Component Volume 1 and Volume 2. As a beginner, I don't want you to do any of this cool stuff. I don't want you doing weapons. I don't want you doing armor. I don't want you doing tailoring. No. You're going to stick to components. Component Volume 1 and Component Volume 2. I'm not going to tell you which components because that really is up to you and what the market value of everything is. So I'd recommend starting with this. You can buy these things. They're just 1 PEC each, so I'm going to buy them just to make it easier for me to actually show you guys what's up. So you can buy them, no big deal, right? They're 1 PEC, not PED. I think I said PED. So now you've got these, right? You can check them out. You can view the information here. Back click, go to item info. You can click around like this. You can see what your chances of success are. You can see that. Where's that? Over here. So like you can see, I've got a higher success rate, and that's because well, I've got some crafting skills. I got a little bit of a, get some skilling that I've done with crafting. So then you're going to want to drop them into these books like this. See, this one I can drop. You just hover over. You see you can drop it. You drop it into these books, okay? So you put all your blueprints into these books. Sometimes you're going to loot blueprints. This is how you get more. You can buy them off auction if you really want to, but I wouldn't recommend it because you're paying premium price for shitty blueprints. To be honest, if you see me in game, I will give you blueprints. I've got plenty of blueprints. I've got a ton of blueprints. Okay, look at this. This is like one of my special books. And this is a book that has so many blueprints in it, it actually like evolved like some sort of Pokemon. Or Pokemon, however you want to say it. I know it's Pokemon. I was a kid. Like you can see, this book is different from this book. And the reason the book's different is because this one has more blueprints in it. Sorry, it's blanking out there. So you can see, like, this has a pretty good collection of blueprints. Like, it's filled out pretty well into the upper 5, over 5. Like, you've got some high level blueprints in here. I don't know if there's any 10s. No, there's none. Okay, so let's say you've done that. You've got your books, you got your blueprints in the books. Now you want to figure out what is profitable, what isn't. Okay, so first off, you go to operate. The reason I'm saying to do it that way is you go operate here, you can see everything a lot easier. It's a lot better to work with from the construction terminal, in my opinion. If you want to organize by success rate, which you will, okay, you're going to want to organize by success rate if you're, if you're going for eco. If not, like, do whatever you want. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. So you want to look at your success rate and see what it is and everything. And you can see here, like, there is a huge difference between these blueprints and probably yours, because these have a higher QR. QR represents how skilled up a blueprint is. The higher the QR, the more likely your success rate. Until you get to 90%, then you don't have a success, then it doesn't go up. So like if you look at this, okay, let's check out my QR. So I've got a 96.2 QR blueprint, okay? Huge, right? Success rate's 90%. Here's a 60.2 blueprint QR. Success rate 90%. This is because I'm skilled, okay? So as a newbie, you're gonna have a low success rate, but you want to look at it, okay? So let's just organize it like this, just to get, let's organize it by success rate, just so it's easier to view, okay? This way you're only viewing mostly components. Those are the top few blueprints I've got. Now, what you want to look at is how much it's going to cost you to make each component and what that component might be worth, okay? You're probably going to get, whatever you put in, you're going to get like 20% of that out in component value, and the rest of it's going to come out as res, I'd say. Just expect that, okay? Maybe not 20, let's say 50-50. 50% is going to be the actual stuff that you're crafting. 50% is going to be just bullshit residue. You can sell the residue too. So, first things first, right? Look at this and just see how much it would cost to make everything. So this, right, is 1 list, 2 oils, okay? So list is 3 PEC, oil is 2, so this is going to cost you 10 PEC a try. And you can't even sell it for any sort of markup, okay? So you're losing about 5% based on this markup, right? Like weekly 5% for list, roughly 5%, let's say 6% for oil. So you just take the average, so it's going to cost me 100, the average, and then you got to like account for the PEC, PED difference. So like list is going to have an average of, they're both going to be equal in this, or no. List is going to have an average of like 0.3 PECs, or 3 PECs, so it's going to be like, I don't know, you guys can do the math. I know it is, but I'm drawing a blank. I don't want to go over it. So you can do the math, like figure out how much it's going to cost you, mark plus, like percentage-wise in markup to make this item, and then if its markup is maybe double that. So if it was going to cost an average of 5% MU, 5% markup, to make one standard damper, to make standard dampers, then I'd want to see 110% before I'm even going to consider doing it, okay? Otherwise, you just want to find the lowest before I consider, making that. Well, I guess I'm assuming I have prior knowledge. I know there's going to be cheaper blueprints. You want to make the blueprint that's going to be the cheapest to make, even with like percent markup, okay? So like here, this one's going to be pretty cheap because you've got a low markup, right? So you might think it's cheap until you realize, I forgot about it, it's actually going to cost you more to make this. So you don't want to do that, right? I personally, I'd go with filters. This is the one I was thinking of when I said, oh, maybe I wouldn't do that. So filters is a good blueprint to start off. Solid blueprint, okay? 1 list, so you're paying 105% markup on that. 1 oil, 105% markup on that. So this is going to cost you a total of 5 PECs to attempt. And you can try to make filters. And filters have a markup. So that's perfect, right? The markup is higher than these two. You're still going to lose because like if you double this markup, assuming like half of it's going to be in res, half of it's going to be in filters as far as what you get when you craft, you're still going to lose money on the filters with markup and all that considered. So it's going to cost you more to make them than it is to sell them as far as like markup goes. It's going to cost you 5% markup to create, and you're probably going to get like an average markup of 4% or 3% back, if that makes sense. Like it's a lot to wrap your head around, and I'm having trouble explaining this, but I don't think anyone else does this for beginners, so I'm trying. Okay, so my suggestion, right, when you get so craft whatever you can, craft whatever's in this book until you loot a basic filters blueprint, then I'd switch over to that. Now, for crafting, you're going to need a lot of stuff to make it. Like, you can't go out and hunt or mine all that on your own. You're never going to level up. What do? Go to the auction, okay? Go to items, go to refined resources, pick the one that you want. So in my case, we're going to be doing oil and list. So you pick oil, see what you can get the lowest for. So like if you're actually serious about crafting, you would have no problem paying 500 PEDs for oil, okay? Again, it's a ridiculously expensive profession, but 102.01%, that's not too bad. You can just buy it right off the bat, okay? And this is if you want to get started right away. Otherwise, you can put in bids on the stuff that you think you might be able to make a profit on, or not make a profit on, but get a good deal on. So if you look at this, like these are low markups, 100.38%. You could try bidding on this. You're probably going to get outbid on a lot of this stuff unless it gets pretty close to what the buyout is. Generally, because I don't want to mess with traders and people just trying to get good deals and people who are going to sit online all day, I just buy whatever it is, the top buyout percentage. Again, look at the markup. You might be able to get a bit better deal by bidding. So maybe you want to do that. Now, the other option you could do is you could create an order. So if you look, you've got orders like this. So that means that anything that's put on, any oil that's put on with a max markup of under 101.1% is going to sell automatically to this dude, whoever placed this order. So that is actually a pretty good option in my opinion. So, one way to beat the system. Again, though, that's assuming you've got time. All of this is assuming you've got time, because if you don't have time, you're not going to be able to do it. Like, you don't want to put an order in. You don't want to place bids and lock all your PEDs up and then have to wait 7 days to see if you even get what you're looking for, or slowly get it over the period of time in the case of orders, where you'll just get little bit by little bit as you buy it off the market. If you really want to go, you're just going to do it at buyout, and then you can mess around with orders and all that later, but it's probably maybe a little too advanced. So go to buyout, buy whatever you can, buy the resources you can the cheapest way you can. If you can't afford to wait, do the buyout. That's what I usually do because I'm impatient. If you can't afford to wait, then you can do bidding, but it could take you weeks to find something because you might keep getting outbid. You could do orders. That's another way to do it. There's no guarantee that order's going to be filled. There's no guarantee someone's not going to beat your order by 0.1%. There's no guarantee of anything, but you can place orders. That is one way to get stuff, especially if you're going to be crafting in a huge volume and it's going to be days and days and days. Now, I'm going to assume that you've gone on, you sort of understood what I just said, because I'm not sure if you do. And you get your resources, okay? Now what do? Come to any one of these, a construction machine. Some people say it's best to operate around other people. If you believe in that, go to Twin Peaks. If you don't, pretty much go to any outpost like this one with nobody there. Now, you can sort easily. You can sort by attempts. So, like, if you know what you're doing, you're going to have something that's you're only going to have, like, if you have 1,000 attempts here and 8 attempts here, this is the one you bought your resources for. Make sure you pick the right one. In this case, I'm recommending you do a level 1 blueprint. I'm not going to do that because I'm just using whatever I have for my last mining run. I sort of want it to be... we'll do this. Standard springs, okay? This is a bad pick because if you look at it, high markup. No, I'm not going to do standard springs, actually. I wanted to sell that stuff. I remember that. I want to do something with like a little bit of markup but not too much. Alright, we can do this. We'll do some sample plastic springs. So you can use eye oil and muscle oil. So let's go ahead and craft that real quick here. Let's just craft one, okay? So you can do it like this. You can craft one at a time. Always do quantity. Don't do condition. Condition is not what you want. Condition is not your friend ever. Never go condition. Now that that's settled, okay, next. You're just going to sort of go ahead and craft, okay? If you look at this, like I just crafted some plastic springs. They have a low markup, but I just crafted them. So I got the springs. I got some residue on the side. I can put this residue in here, right? Like by clicking it. I can make it so that it automatically goes towards something. You're not going to deal with that at all, so you don't really care how much residue you get. That you're going to sell at auction, okay? Now, if you're lazy, you can just max out your attempts here like this. Basically, you can click this. It'll give you your maximum number of attempts unless it's over 1 million, which maybe you're a big time crafter. So you can do 1 million. You can do 9 million, what? You can do basically 10 million attempts. But you can max it out. Then you hit construct, and then you can just sit back and wait. You don't need to watch. You don't need to do anything. You can just have your computer running in the background doing this. You're off cooking dinner. you're crafting, okay? Like, not too hard, right? You can sort everything by value, by symbol. I wouldn't do that. This just tells you what you got. You can hold your mouse over something and see what it is. And it'll tell you success. It'll tell you your attempts. So if you want to see them come in, have it ordered like this. So it's 3, 2, 1, or whatever it is. And that's crafting. I'm not going to make a huge video because I know you guys don't want to sit there and watch me craft for a million hours. One thing I will do is I'll do this. Another stupid thing to do. I'm losing money here, but I'm doing this for the sake of a video. See, look at that. It's a high level, so I have a low success rate. That's how it works. I'm going to go until this crafts something because I just want you guys to get a view of that residue, okay? So it might take a little bit. Again, the success rate's low, so you're going to see me failing and failing and failing. And that's exactly why you want a high success rate, which is why you want your quantity maxed out, okay? Let me stop this here. Okay, so when you craft, this is another good example. You're going to get this. These two are residues. Low markup. Look at that, 101%. So consider residue to be TTable almost. Trade term. You can almost sell it to the trade terminal. I wouldn't though. If you're a serious crafter, collect it and then sell it in batches, okay? And you're also going to get some of the resource you use back. And that's if you have a near success. That's when you'll get that back. If you have a success, you'll get the item you're trying to craft. In this case, reinforced rods and some residue. And otherwise you fail. And that's it. So I think that's basically the beginner's guide. The big points to take away: component 1 blueprints, high success rate blueprints. If you have a component 2 blueprint and the success rate's 90% and the value to make it is equal, use a level 2, because the higher levels you get, the higher level blueprints you can loot, and the higher level blueprints might actually have a markup to them. And blueprints are one way to make money back, especially when you're doing something like weapons. For the sake of crafting, it's not too exciting, except it's one more blueprint to put in your book, which is always nice. So yeah, low level blueprints, high success blueprints. Always do quantity. Always try to get the best deal on the auction. If you're impatient like me, that's not going to happen. Otherwise, use orders. Again, it'll trickle in, but if you use orders, you're going to save money over the long run. And that's what you're going to want to get used to doing when you're, when you're higher level, maybe when you're actually going for a profit. And yeah, I guess those are all the tips. Oh, and the last tip would be prepared to lose money. Remember, you just saw me do a little bit of crafting and you saw how hard it was. I did absolutely nothing. It's fairly easy, but it costs a lot and a lot and a lot until you start making money, but it's rare. Anyways, I don't know if this video really accomplished anything. I don't know if you guys get anything worthwhile on it, but someone requested it and I wanted to do the best I could do. Sadly, this is my best. So hopefully the video helped you out. If you guys have questions, comments, anything like that, as always, just let me know. And until next time, peace.